Hey everybody, welcome back. I have a different video today. In today's video, I want to talk about a new grading card company that has just kind of hit the market in the last few weeks and put themselves out there. Obviously, we're all real familiar with some of the big PSA, Beckett, and then the SGC grading card companies, but there is another company that has just kind of released some information and they have started accepting submissions. And I wanted to get your all's thoughts and opinions because I think they have at least some interesting ideas, and we'll see how they kind of fit in the grading card market. So the name of the company is called the Hybrid Grading Approach, HGA. They do have a website. I believe it is hybridgrading.com, but don't hold me to that. I'm sure you can Google it, hybrid grading, and you'll be able to find their website. It's super easy to find, super easy to navigate. They're also very active on Facebook. And so if you're on Facebook, you can find a lot of their communication there. In fact, the owner of the company, I think, is really, really active on different sports card forums and groups and on their own page on Facebook. That's how I found out about it. My brother had ran into their information on Facebook and shared it with me. And so I started to look at some of their stuff, and it is pretty intriguing. So I thought I would make a video about it to educate you all and to get your all's thoughts, because they have some pretty interesting ideas. And I think it'll be neat to see where they fit in the card grading industry, because right now, whew, it is pretty backlogged, I think, at all the companies. So basically, if you haven't taken the time to search for their company yet, HGA, or the Hybrid Grading Approach, it's based out of Tennessee, out of the Knoxville, Tennessee area there, where the University of Tennessee Volunteers kind of have their campus, not too far away from there. They're using a computer software to grade the card. So they're trying to take the human aspect, the human subjectivity out of it. You know, we've all seen posts or people comment about, I don't understand why this card got this grade. You know, it was just the grader that day was having a bad day. And if I resend it, you know, break the slab open, send the card in again, it would possibly get a better grade from a different person. And so they're trying to take that variance out of it by using a computer program or computer software that can scan the card. Obviously, high-resolution scans where it can detect the edges, it can pick up the centering, it can pick up any blemishes on the card, and it can kind of evaluate the card objectively with the computer software rather than with a human who could obviously, depending on the day, the situation, just whatever, give a different grade on it on a different day. So they're trying to take the human aspect out of it, kind of like how some people are for the robotic umpires, to take the human aspect out of calling balls and strikes in baseball games. One thing that I like is the return times are guaranteed. And the way they're doing that is they are limiting the amount of submissions that they will accept per month. And so I haven't done this personally, but from what I've read, whenever you register for an account, you go on their site, you're ready to make a submission, there's like a counter at the top of the page of how many submissions they have left that month that they will accept. And I don't know what the number is to start off each month, whether it's 500 or 1,000 or whatever. But they have that counter at the top of the screen, and every month it resets. And so as you submit things throughout the month, you can see how many submissions they're still going to take for that month. And when that counter hits 0 and they're not going to take any more submissions, that's it. Like, you can't submit any cards. I think that's how it is right now. I think they're already at their limit for January, since we're almost at the end of the month. And so that is their way to kind of control the volume that is coming into their company, because I believe, if I remember correctly, I read that they only have like 18 or 20 or so employees. And so they're a pretty small operation, and they're trying to guarantee the return time. Because I know, at least my personal experience, one of the most frustrating things about sending something to PSA or SGC or Beckett or whoever is that it says it's a 30-day submission or a 60-day submission, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Those numbers are meaningless because it's taking 5 months, 6 months, way beyond what they're promoting to get those cards back. And so these guys are saying, hey, when we say 10 days, it's going to be 10 days. When we say 30, it's going to be 30. And the way they're going to make sure they can do that, guarantee that, is to control how many cards are coming into their business. So we'll see how they can implement that. But as just an idea, I think that is amazing, and one of the best things that I think I can say about their company, or at least their business plan as of right now. Other things, without talking for too long about their company, their slabs, their actual slabs, are color-coded. They aren't just all red like PSAs or all blacks like the SGC tuxedos that people call them. They are kind of customizable. And so if you have a Fernando Tatis card, it will be in San Diego colors, whether it's tan or gold, right? And if you had a Vladdy Jr., that would be obviously in a blue and a red design. And so you will get your card kind of in your team colors, which I think is pretty neat. I kind of like that aspect of it. And I believe you can also customize it, where if you know, hey, I want this card to have like a blue border or a yellow border or an orange border or whatever, where you can customize what color you want the design to be. And I think that's really neat because it just kind of gives the consumer, us as fans, control a little bit over what our slab looks like, over what the design is. And I think that's pretty neat. Anytime you can give the person as the consumer more choices and more control, the more popular it should be. So I think that's going to be pretty neat. I'm going to try to put some examples of the cards that they have graded already out on the screen here so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. And then also you'll kind of recognize their design. They are going to break down the subgrades, like they're going to show the grade for centering, the grade for edges, the grade for surface, the grade for corners, and then they'll have the overall grade, kind of like Beckett does, where you can tell, oh, okay, why did this card get an 8? Where did it fall short, or where did it do the best? Compared to some of those other companies where all you see is the overall grade, and you're stuck asking yourself, why, I'm confused. Why did this not get a 10, or why did this not get a certain grade? This is going to break it down into the 4 subcategories, and then it will also give you the overall grade, so you can tell where it graded well and maybe where it fell short. So overall, I'm super excited for this company. I think it's going to come down to us as the consumers, how much value we put in their products, because there are those other fringe companies that you can send cards to, and they don't carry as much weight or they don't carry as much value. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see how we as the public accept this company and how we treat their graded cards, because if we can accept their product and value it as much at the level of the PSAs or the Beckett's or the SGCs, and kind of put another player in the trading card grading arena, that can maybe take some of the pressure off those other companies who are just being overwhelmed by the amount of cards that they're getting sent to them. And so I really hope that they can live up to some of their ideals, and I really hope that they are successful in their business, because I feel like the more competition you have, the more that promotes people to improve their product, and the more it's just kind of, in our, at least the case for things right now, it will just improve the overall getting a card graded process, where you can get cards graded and have it returned before 6 months or 5 months or whatever, and it just kind of helps everybody up their game, and it just is an overall positive. So that remains to be seen, how the people like us who are consumers accept their product and how much we value it and respect it, because it's okay to get a card graded, but if it's not really worth it, or it doesn't really increase the value, or you don't really think it's worth it to you, then we really haven't maybe accomplished what some people are hoping. So overall, feel free to check out their website. Feel free to also check out their Facebook. Like I said, their owner is really active on their Facebook page. He legit will respond to almost all the comments or questions that you put on Facebook. And so if you're curious, go ahead and check that stuff out. Also, feel free to leave your comments down below and give me your thoughts and your opinions on maybe some of their grading policies, on some of their business designs, business ideas, and whether you think you're interested in this type of a submission. I personally am kind of interested. I don't think I would send my most valuable cards right now, since they're just now getting their feet off the ground. But maybe after a little bit, if we see that, oh man, this is actually going to be a pretty legit company, you may start sending in some more and more valuable cards. So I might have a few that I have laying around that I can send in. Oh, I didn't even talk about their prices. I'm sorry. And so their prices are pretty reasonable. The prices are going to be set by the turnaround date, not the value of the card. So it doesn't matter if you send in a common card worth $0.25 or the most expensive card you own, the prices are going to be the same. So like a 10-day return is $55 for each card for a 10-day return. A 30-day return is $35 per card. Doesn't matter the value, just a straight $35 charge for a 30-day return. And then a 60-day return is $20 per card. So that's kind of how they are setting their price structure right now. And I'm sure they may do promotions at some point. Maybe they already did to kind of get their business started. But that is their price point. So $35 for a card, doesn't matter how much it's worth. It could be, the cheapest card you have or the most expensive card you have. For $35, you can get it graded in one of their slabs, and then And then it will be a guaranteed return after 30 days or 60 days or 10 days or whatever you choose. So I'm definitely interested in what you all feel about their company, and I really think it's going to be a pretty good idea. I think it's going to be pretty nice to have another player in the card grading market. So feel free to leave your comments down below. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week and weekend, depending on when you watch this, and I will catch you in another video. Have a good one out there, everybody.